Green on screen, up 0.8%. Your thoughts there for the session?
It's great to see the Australian market up by 0.8%, and we saw some strong volumes going through as well. $4.7 billion worth of stock being traded, so that's the best for the week so far. Domestically, we saw job numbers out, and the unemployment rate did drop to 5.1%, and there was a temporary reaction on the Australian share market. And if we have a look at that reaction, it was a temporarily positive one, but then we saw the market coming back to the levels that it was before those job numbers were out. But we did see 8,800 jobs having been lost. The market really just ignoring that though, and it is the macro issues globally which is dominating play and positions at the moment. And the European Central Bank meeting will be the big one tonight. If we have a look at how it might impact on the Australian market, it does look like positions are betting that it is going to be bullish for risk assets. So we have seen risk assets doing well ahead of that meeting. If we have a look at the shorts on the Australian share market and where the biggest short positions are, there's stocks like JB Hi-Fi with 20% of their stock in short positions, Flight Centre with 13%, Fairfax with 11%, and Linus with 11%. So we could see some pretty big moves in those companies with large short positions if we do start to see a big bullish move up. Of course, one of those stocks was Linus today. It did come out with some positive moves, but it is one of the most shortest stocks on the Australian market. So no doubt that we saw a closing of those short positions, and the stock up a massive 41% on the news that it will be granted a temporary license for its Malaysian operating plant. We saw some stocks going ex-dividend, with stocks like Forge. We saw Hills Industry, McMahon Holdings, as well as News Corporation and SEEK. And surprising to see that both News Corp and SEEK finished the day higher despite going ex-dividend. And lots of corporate news as well. Billabong up by 7.5% on that second takeover approach. Fortescue, though, down by 4.8% again today, taking the month's losses to 30% over the last month. But altogether, a great day for the Australian market, and now we're just waiting for the ECB.
Obviously, the job numbers that we got out today, there's an awful lot of information flowing about today, but they certainly are a key focus. Again, a strong read. This labour market just continues to confound people as we've been seeing headlines of job losses, expectations that we're going to see a stark increase. It's not happening, 5.1% in the month of August. Do we need to be a little bit more confident and a little bit more, I suppose, appreciative of the strength of our economy?
I think that 5.1% unemployment rate, while it's fantastic, has to be taken with a grain of salt, and that's because of the participation rate. It does look like people dropping out of the labour force are partially behind that very attractive rate, and in fact the job market does look under pressure if we have a look at the ANZ job ad numbers, or if we have a look at the number of jobs that were lost in the month. So a little bit of cautiousness in terms of these numbers, but of course the big job numbers that the world's going to be watching is tomorrow, where we see the US non-farm payroll numbers. Now there's only 3 jobs reports ahead of the US election, and there is a view that if the Federal Reserve wants to move with quantitative easing, it either needs to do it in September or it needs to wait till 2013. And of course a crucial input into expectations around quantitative easing is going to be that US non-farm payroll number out tomorrow. So the next 2 sessions going to be absolutely huge. We see the European Central Bank tonight with Mario Draghi expected to announce an unlimited bond buying program with a duration of up to 3 years. There are some challenges. He'll need to get the German support, so next week's constitutional vote on the European Stability Mechanism will be important. But the other thing is that neither Italy nor Spain has asked for a bailout, and until they put their hands up, there's not much he can do there either. So all eyes on Europe and then the US. The job numbers here in Australia, while the unemployment rate was good, in terms of the actual quality of the numbers wasn't so good there. But I think events in Australia and the risk-on environment, or the risk-off environment, will be dominated by global factors rather than domestic ones this week.
I want to touch on some stock